Oh man, sorry. All right, so I couldn't sleep. So gonna go get me some fresh fruit, and I haven't had any meat today. I'm guessing I should probably get some protein in my diet along with these vegetables that's in my system. Starting to feel a little bit better, but throat chakra is still blocked. So getting there. So another quick storytelling as I am trekking across the city to my destination. So all I hear is clickety clackety clickety clack. So love and relationships, people's favorite thing to talk about. Now you might ask, Tony, I'm wondering why every time I pass by this house, I hear owls or birds whistling at me. They actually have a camera on the top of their wall with a red ring. Well, whatever. And yeah, every time I walk past this house, all I hear is I'm like, what the heck? Now, you know me, I whistle and I speak to birds, so it's like, what the heck? All right, so that investigation is finally closed. I thought it was a freaking bird's nest in the tree. But anyways, back to this story, this series of questions. There it is again. They just walked past it and it just whistled. Yeah, man, that's funny. You know, they I think they've been out of town. I don't really watch them. You know, I know some people are well off and, you know, they're barely in town for half the year and things like that. That's one of those types of neighbors that I have, you know. Imagine leaving your and there was a commercial like this when I was growing up in the 90s or the early 2000s, where it was a car, you know how most cars have car alarm systems. Well, it was this one car, and the car alarm system wasn't to make a whole bunch of noise. The car made a holographic, big, gigantic anaconda that was wrapped around the car. So imagine that. Imagine thinking that you're a big, tough, rocking snot boxes gangster, and you're breaking into somebody's car, or you're attempting to, and then a big, gigantic snake just pops up out of nowhere, crawls up from under the car, but it's holographic, so you don't even know that it's real, that it's fake. But yeah, I mean, this is more technology, more waves of the future. You know, they're creating concerts where they have a holographic Tupac or a holographic whatever celebrity. You know, that's why a lot of stuff that we upload online and on all these social media networks, they're taking your fingerprints, your face prints, your voice prints, and things like that. Pretty much. Again, they won't need you. They won't need to have you. They'll just be able to take the human's likeness and just and do whatever they want with it. You know, that's why it's such a problem with NFL players and, you know, all these athletes when they sell their the contracts where they have where these big companies act like these men have to sell their souls away to where they can't. They have to cover up their own name on their jersey if they're not in a football or basketball game. Like, it's so strange. It's so weird. But anyways, the money comes and goes. You know. Everybody should have a side hustle. Everyone should have a side gig. Everyone should be speaking proactively. Everyone's not living day to day or paycheck to paycheck like most people in the world. Again, most people have side businesses or small stash accounts that they have not been touching, and that's just been increasing wealth over time. You know, there's a difference between getting a friggin' women can get a $20 nail and hairdo. And the money's just gone. It's just disappeared. You're just wearing a costume for the next 7 days. See, women can do stuff like that to attract a millionaire. Once a man spends $20 on a bottle of alcohol, or literally smokes away his marijuana, or whatever the case may do, if you're buying something and it's not bringing you value, like a lot of advice I'm taking in now is, if what you're spending your life essence or your lifeblood on, which is your cash money, we notice that the human dollar is never ripped up or burned or thrown away or trash. We end up every 10, 20, 30 years having to print new bills. What do you think they do with the old bills? But yeah, man, that's why you don't put money in your mouth either. You know how many people touch that dollar bill? Hell, that $100 bill. Yeah, and that was another way that all this corona stuff got spreaded, through the dollar bill. People don't think about that part. So again, it's not about the money or how does he make his money. Again, when you're loved by people or when you're blessed by your ancestors or spirit, you don't really have to worry about these things. They put you in position to take care of the things that you need to take care of. It's such a low vibrational energy, the paperback American dollar bill. So don't ask me how I make my money or where I get it from. Just know that I have it. Now, when it comes to my relationships, 27 years old, I decided, these doctors and these nurses, and they're telling me that I'll never be able to have children. I'll never be able to do all these different things, having reverberating memories and going over the conversations that I had with world-leading and world-renowned surgeons, telling me that I'll never be able to drink a can of soda, telling me I won't be able to finish my last year of high school, telling me I won't be able to go out in public. Everyone's wearing masks now. I was wearing masks 17 years ago. So again, nothing new to me. Don't ask me how I make my money. Don't ask me about my relationships. But give you a little bit of insight about it, you know. Very interesting relationship, you know. It's always good to have someone that is going to balance you out, that is going to be your equal in some aspects or be your opposite in some aspects, you know. I wouldn't really want to date someone that's like myself. I don't want to date another Antonio that's into video games and talks too much and all these other things, you know. It would be interesting. I've dated 3 girls in my lifetime with the same birthday as me. But when it comes to my most recent relationship, which I've been in for about 8 years, maybe 7, 8 years. About 7 years. So, yeah, it's just, you know, being with, getting in contact with a woman that I had previously been co-workers with. You know, the day that she met me, she was instantly turned off because every woman that spoke to her was calling me cute, was calling me good looking and smart and all these other things, you know. And she got completely turned off by that. Now, again, this is an insecure woman. And that's how most women are. They are insecure. They don't want to compete. They feel like they have imposter syndrome, pretty much. You should just be yourself. You never know who's attracted to you. You never know who's watching you. And she still tells me to this day, I can't believe we got together. Who would have ever thought? Because she couldn't picture a guy like me coming down off my high horse to be with someone like her. Women have to remember, as long as you got a peace sleeve, is what they call it, you don't even have to have arms or legs. Women have so many options. Men, like, that's the crazy part. Talk about self-confidence and having self-esteem and not putting your insecurities off onto other people. But yeah, very insecure individual. If I do say so myself, you know, the red flags were there. But then also, I was waving my red and white flags as well. I wanted to get in a relationship and have kids before I died. This is around the time that I was still taking 10 years into taking the medication that these world-renowned doctors and surgeons were telling me that I'm gonna have to take my whole entire life. There's more to that story. A walking human experiment. But yeah, she was there, you know, from day one. You know, Uh, the very first night we met, of course, or pretty much the very first week or very first month we met. It was just pretty much cooking. She's cooking for me and all these other things, I want to say taking care of me, but she's displaying what confidence she does have. We got to watch a couple horror movies, play a couple video games, things like that. She didn't want to leave like most women do. Again, they get kicked out of wherever they get kicked out of, and they find some dude and they don't want to leave. I don't know why women fall in love or whatever they think they're doing so quick and so easily. But again, this is something that women will complain and blame men for, trying to blame and control and force men into relationships and marriages that they don't want to be in. Fortunately, if you're going to drain my resources and drain my time and drain my energy, I'm going to use your body to produce a son and a daughter for me. I don't know if I ever said that out loud, but I told her, bro, I'm afraid of dying, bro. I just want to have my kids. But she took that as me saying I just wanted to have kids. And she said this to me one time. I took that as you was gay. Why are you having sex with gay men? I don't understand women. You have these thought processes and things like that. If a man sees his car and his woman in a car with a man, go up to the car and see what the heck is going on. Don't stand there and be like, wait till she comes back and be like, oh, I saw you in the car with somebody. Who was that? Oh, man. Examples on top of examples. But back to my real life story, love isn't that hard to find. It's hard to find normal, decent people. Again, I was blessed. She is not a ratchet. She is not a peon. Very cool person for the most part. A lot of good things I can say. A lot of bad things I can say, just like she can say about me as well. But we was in a relationship for 8 years, so what can be said about that? And we're still friends today. It's just I don't like when she calls me in the middle of the night. That has to stop. Women get themselves, look at that cat. Men and women get themselves into situations that they can't get out of. And as they're walking away from you, they talk all this crap. And then they come begging and crawling back on their knees in due time. So, you just have to leave people where they at sometimes, or you have to put them through that test or that gauntlet. You can forgive someone. You can forgive someone that cheats on you. Not sure if you should. I guess it depends on the situation and how much is invested in the situation. But I haven't really had to deal with that as an adult person, so I don't really know. I can give the best advice that I can. As of right now, I really don't want to put too much thought into it, And again, everyone's paying so much attention to what's going on the internet that they're not, people are just reading in between the lines. Yeah, man, I've never cheated on my girl, and my girl has never cheated on me. We in good faith. We can give each other passes and things like that. That's not a problem. It's why even go through, all this extra this and that and that and this. Dang, I lost my train of thought. All these cars and helicopters. So, what was I thinking? What was I thinking about? I had a point. Oh, well, my relationship, the whole reason why it ended is because being a stay-at-home father, is that part of it? Let's put it like this. A mother shouldn't be leaving her children home by themselves. I've had to go through that. My friends had to go through that. I've had family members that had to go through that. You've had to go through that. People just have to go through these things, whether it's a lack of daycare or whatever the case may be. See, I'm the type of person, I could have $1 million in the bank. I don't understand these celebrities. I could have $1 million in the bank. I'm not gonna allow my mom or some nanny or the pastor of my church to watch my children. I'm their father. So if I'm working a $20 an hour job and their mom is all of a sudden feeling insecure because she isn't bringing any money and she's had 2 kids and all these things, and all right, so now I gotta quit my $20 an hour job so you can go get a $15 an hour job because you don't want to be woman enough to stay home with the children. So I guess I'll be man enough, father enough to stay with the children. But that's only one part of the equation, one angle I can come from. You know, the thing is, if I expect you to be home with the children and I get home and the children are home alone by themselves, irregardless of whatever 10-year-old cousin or whatever 15-year-old cousin you left them with, regardless of whatever you're doing, I can care less. Like I said, we give each other passes. When it comes to my children, remember, my whole point of me wanting to get in a relationship because I thought I was gonna die and I wanted to have children, that's what I care about at the end of the day. So yeah, man, my children are very important to me. And you know, she sends me pictures and, you know, things of them every so often. It's been almost a year. It'll probably be a year, in October. So all this wasted time for no reason, just because someone didn't want to stay in their feminine power and raise their children, versus wanting to be a man and go out and try to make, you can't even make as much money as a man, but you want to go out and try to make something of yourself. Like you couldn't do that at home. But people come with their insecurities no matter what it is. You could be the most beautiful woman in the world. People can look you up and down and call you a 10, but I bet you still got insecurities. There are certain things that a dime won't do. There are certain things that a 1 won't do, believe it or not. So, you know, it is all perception, beauty being in the eye of the beholder, people investing in self and in relationships and things like that, forgiveness. You know, Jesus was about mercy, was not about truth. I'll say that again. At least that's how I interpret it. Jesus was not the deity or the ascended master or the messenger of truth. He was the messenger of mercy. So, you know, I could say Lucifer was an emissary of knowledge and truth and all that stuff, but I'm not even going to get too far into that whole thing. You know, I'm still contemplating the mysterious circumstances we find ourselves in today in regards to science and religion. I don't take my cues off men that are not malleable. Yeah, be like a rock. Be strong and stiff and be a wall. We forget that the Grand Canyon was carved out by water and air. We forget that fire blows the top off of a volcano. Yeah. Some people like to hear themselves talk, and some people like to listen. So if you've made it this far into the video, just know that you're enlightened and you're aware, and you actually have a purpose and you care about something. You're building on something, you know. And it's not always about these relationships we find ourselves in and all this, you know. Men get their egos and their feelings hurt when another man sticks his penis in your woman, but you don't think about it while you're out there messing up the lives of people's moms, daughters, sisters, aunties, damn their grandmothers. You got dudes online talk about how they'll do this and that and that and this to people's 10-year-old. The world we live in today, But don't worry about what I'm doing. Don't worry about how I make my money and who I'm dating. You worrying about what another man does with his pants.